What is up, XRP community? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me. XRP led this weekend. Gains fueled on the price by surging open interest. Is $1 realistic? Yesterday, XRP climbed as high as 63 cents, the highest price we have seen in a long time, decorrelating a bit from XRP. From Bitcoin. Bitcoin did get slammed a lot this morning. I believe it's now around 63K. And as such, you saw a little dip on the price chart of XRP as well following Bitcoin. However, it's still looking good. You can see the 7-year long symmetrical triangle finally breaking out a bit. Nothing is guaranteed, but once we get through this resistance, you're going to see much higher prices. And one thing to keep in mind, XRP's 3-month chart is closing at the end of today. In 6 hours and 15 minutes, this tweet just came out. And if we gain 1.7% and get a little bit above 62 cents, this will be the highest price close on the 3-month XRP chart since April of 2022. And that's very significant because whenever you have a breakout on a 3-month, a long-term price chart, it usually shows that prices are going to follow in that upwards trend. Now, if you look at like a 5-minute price chart, it could look extremely bullish and then dump 5%. A 3-month price chart, super long term, this is where you want to deduce information from. So as the markets close tonight, you're going to want to see where XRP's price is. Hopefully we do get this highest 3-month close. And look at this staunch comparison of the market right now since the 2000 financial crisis, the 2008 recession, and since the money printing in 2020, and then look at 1916, 1999, and ultimately the Great Depression, which happened after the massive surge running up into the 1930s. And you can see right here, they look exactly the same. Parabola up, breaks through the parabola, absolute crash down. The yield curve inverted 700 days prior to the Great Crash of 1929. The yield curve was inverted from July 5th, 2022 until earlier this month, which I talked a lot about recently. 789 days, the yield curve was inverted. Is it different this time? I don't know. I would doubt so. But look at the comparison right here. It couldn't be more similar. A quick headline: Ohio Senator Niraj Antani introduces bill to allow state and local taxes to be paid with Bitcoin and crypto. Just goes to show the swelling tide of adoption around cryptocurrencies. And this actually just came out at 1:40, not even 20 minutes ago. Okay, so that's some breaking news. So here's a chart showing the market gains over the past 10, 15 years, and whether each market was a positive or a negative green or red month. 80% of Octobers were green. 100% of election years had green October, November, and December. We're in an election year. Maybe this time is wrong, but I bring you this information so you can make future decisions based off what has happened before. History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. 100% of the years with a green September had a green October. And guess what? We had a green September. Quarter 4 begins tomorrow. And I believe you're going to start to see the beginning of the next phase of the bull run this quarter 4 going into quarter 1, the new year, 2025. And prayers to everyone. There was a big hurricane in the USA, and a lot of people were worried about Florida. But a lot of places in Georgia, North Carolina were absolutely devastated. Here you can see this town. And the crazy thing is, this town is 2,000 feet above sea level. So a lot of these people don't have hurricane flood insurance. They're 2,000 feet above sea level. They're 300 miles away from the nearest coastline. You typically never see this kind of crazy damage from a hurricane this far inland. Probably the worst natural disaster from a hurricane inland, not coastline, in decades, maybe in history. A lot of weird theories going around about this. But yeah, I just want to say a moment if you have anyone affected by this. Absolutely crazy stuff going on in the USA with these hurricanes. So this guy, Smoke Dog, tweeted this out, and he cites 3 different documents talking about XRP's price and how it will significantly increase. As banks increasingly adopt Ripple's DLT solution for international payments, and payment service providers such as Finastra, Volante, and CGI take advantage of the cross-currency real-time gross settlement capability and the neutral liquidity marketplace provided by the XRP ledger, The network's transaction volume will grow massively. XRP's quantity will constantly decrease. This is because XRP, by design, is deflationary. Every transaction, you're burning a little bit of that XRP. As with any limited asset that is actively utilized, its value tends to rise. Therefore, with the growth of the network, XRP's price is expected to increase significantly. Although XRP has experienced some volatility, Ripple believes this will even out. It will become a more stable asset as demand for XRP as a bridge currency becomes more constant. As the adoption of Ripple's technology expands, not just XRP, but now they have the Ripple stablecoin, RLUSD, and XRP's supply diminishes, the combination of the growing network activity and consistent demand will push XRP's price to stabilize at a significantly higher level. And these are all quotes from these official documents. I believe it's Metcalfe's law that came out during the early 2000s and the telecommunication boom. The value of a network is exponentially proportional to a square to the amount of users on a network, right? So the amount of users, as it increases, just like on a blockchain, the inherent value of that network increases even more, okay? So each added user has more value to that network effect. I believe that's called Metcalfe's law. And talking about this Ripple stablecoin, the biggest mint yet, 480,000 Ripple USD minted at the Ripple USD Treasury. Now, this is just the testing phase, but I believe over the course of the next year, and it's perfect timing when you think about we're about to have the next phase of the bull run, the XRP backed stablecoin Ripple USD is going to have massive impact on the crypto market. If you guys made it this far in the video, comment RLUSD in the comment section below and hit that like button. Best way to support the channel is just hitting the like button and watching as much of the video as you can. So thank you in advance if you're a loyal supporter. Let me know by commenting RLUSD. And I want to leave you guys with Brad Garlinghouse. He went on Fox News yesterday and he talked about his previous prediction, how crypto by the end of the year would double in market cap. And he has something new to say. Take a listen.
But you recently predicted that the crypto market will double in size to $5 trillion by the end of 2024. That is a big prediction just by the end of this year.
Yeah, I don't even feel like it's that big a prediction when you step back. And, you know, like any market, this is driven by supply and demand. You have decreasing supply for a whole bunch of reasons, the halving of Bitcoin being an important one. You have an increasing demand, the ETF being a key part of that. And I think it's also people realizing that crypto plays a role as an asset. You know, it's a $2.5 trillion market. Maybe it's a little less than that now. But so it's basically just predicting it's going to double by the end of the year. And if anything, I think I probably underpredicted that.
I feel like Washington is still trying to understand this market, and the people writing the legislation or potential legislation here to put barriers and around this market. I don't know that they really understand the strength and the growth story here. But you think putting regulation around this, putting barriers in place is going to be a positive for this market? There
is no question. I mean, one of the headwinds that has held back the market, the largest economy in the world, the United States, has been one of the most problematic for the crypto market. Innovation, entrepreneurs, and capital have flown into markets that have actually constructively engaged this market. So Dubai, Singapore, even the UK, the EU has passed legislative progress here. The U.S. has really been behind the eight ball. This administration, I think, has taken a pretty anti-crypto stance, led by the SEC. Gary Gensler, as the chair, has really taken...
Because he doesn't understand it.
I think there's
well, maybe he doesn't. The people working for him don't.
It's not clear to me. I mean, clearly, I think you have politicians, and I would frankly call out Elizabeth Warren goes out and says the only people using crypto are, you know, bad actors. It's just not true. And the U.S. should have a pro-innovation, pro-compliance policy. This is good for, you know, in terms of growing jobs, high-paying jobs, growing the economy. And I think you're seeing, you know, people go out and just, you know, talking points around anti-crypto that it doesn't even make sense. This shouldn't even be a partisan issue. This is about growing our economy. Yeah. This is about leading the next wave of innovation. I was around Silicon Valley when the internet was booming, massive amount of value creation, massive amount of job creation. The blockchain and crypto space is here to stay, and I think that's become clearer and clearer. But the U.S. government needs to embrace that and put those clear rules around it so that all participants can can play and grow.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned all of those countries, because that's also an opportunity for you, obviously, at Ripple. I want to get your take on that, because you recently announced Ripple is launching a U.S. dollar-backed stablecoin later this year. You say this bridges the gap between traditional finance and cryptocurrency. Tell us how that will play out, why it's valuable, and give us the growth story for Ripple. Where does growth come from at your company in the coming 3 years?
So to start on that last piece, Ripple, about over 95% of our customers are non-U.S. financial institutions. We sell payment solutions, we sell custody solutions around blockchain and crypto. We're going to keep expanding, even though the U.S. market, as we were talking about earlier, partly from a regulatory point of view, has been slow to adopt. The non-U.S. market has been really, really strong for us. And you're
going to be the infrastructure around all of that.
That is our goal. And we think that opportunity is huge. We think that's going to be great for Ripple. We think it's going to be great for XRP, which is a digital asset we use. So I'm very, very optimistic about that. I just think that the U.S. needs to figure it out.
And the stablecoin?
Oh, the stablecoin. So like Ripple has always been about how do we bridge this new world with a traditional kind of, people call it TradFi, traditional finance. And Ripple has always been that bridge. We started around payments and we sell into banks. A stablecoin, the demand for stablecoins has exceeded, I think, what people thought. It's a $150 billion asset class right now. Some forecast it to be over 2-3 trillion in a few years. The players in that space, particularly one called Tether, is a non-U.S. based entity. And the U.S., frankly, is kind of going after that because they want this to be regulated. Just yesterday, there's a new bill introduced in the Senate to create some stablecoin legislation, which I think is a positive step of like, hey, finally, we might get some forward momentum there. But I think that market's going to grow a lot. I think a U.S.-based player who is compliance first has a great role to play.
It's a great story to tell. Brad, thank you so much for being here.
And that's why the Ripple stablecoin is going to be so important. Tether, 75% of all stablecoin volume, is not a U.S. company. And Ripple stands to gain a lot of advantages because they are in the U.S. They have a lot more regulatory clarity, and they already have connections and their own blockchain to back up the value of this stablecoin. That's going to be backed by dollars 1-to-1. Thanks again for watching, guys. Until next time.